All right, guys. Hey, good day to you all here. Oh, I guess we're a little behind schedule here, but we'll get it rolling here shortly. We may we'll try and get 10 here before we start here. I think we just announced it to the members that we're just going to start. So bear with us just a sec here. We'll get it rolling. Starting out with Roku, we got kind of an interesting mix. We're going to go to some of the big dogs across the board here and look at Tesla and Apple and maybe Facebook, gold, the S&P, just kind of looking across some broader strokes here, and then the individual equities or assets that members are going to post here. And of course, we're going to start here with Roku. Oh, let's see. I'll get one or two more here. We'll get us rolling. Okay. And just for those of you that might be looking for this, around a holiday, we'll do a little Halloween promo, which we typically do. So we'll run it. We typically run it 4 or 5 days. Monte Crypto, do we have a timeline on this? We're gonna run it through Tuesday, Monday. Oh, okay. All right. So through 11/3. There you go. So some discounting on the educational memberships. Of course, the big value is to go to the yearly, where you get your maximum discount on the monthly. A lot of people do take advantage of that. But then as well, so you can do 1, 3, 6, 12, whatever suits you. Again, the reason I think a lot of people go with the yearly is because if you're thinking longer term about getting through to purple or brown, it takes some time to do that. So that's a way to maximize the investment dollars. And give yourself time to get through the belt system. So a lot of people do take advantage of that. So just something to keep in mind. But you probably, if you're really motivated, could do it with the 6-monther if you have the time and the energy and the inclination to really work at it. So we'll just keep that up here for a couple more minutes here, and then as we get a couple more watching us here. But I do know that the majority of people watch. Not in live, they watch it after the fact, because we look at the numbers and see, how many are watching while we're live, how many watch after it's posted, and it's about a 10 to 1 difference. So why don't we go ahead and start? So that'll be there. It'll be on our Twitter feed. It'll certainly be featured in Friday's video on Bitcoin. So what do you think, Monte Crypto? We'll kick that off, and we'll go to the chart that I have in front. Okay, guys. All right. So here we start out, and just for those of you, we don't have a lot here now. There we go. We got 10. Just a reminder what we're doing here. So these are it's going to be a combination today. So we typically will start with members posting their content. And it tends to be these will be members that have been with us for some time. And so they're posting their counts, setups that they see, which is what we're asking them for. So someone like Grant, it's not so much about me, critiquing his analysis, because he's been with us so long now and he knows exactly what he's doing. But this is also just a great resource for trade setups, ideas. Again, they're all going to be through a very similar technical lens. So there's a consistency to these. So you might see 10, 15 or more setups, and then you can be very picky about those that you gravitate to for whatever reason it might be. This is a particularly easy one. Now, one thing for those of you that members, of course, you'll know that Grant really likes to feature the harmonics in conjunction with the Elliott count, right? He's one of the only members I have that really makes this a cornerstone of his analysis. And what he's done is just tied it right into everything we were already teaching. He's just giving it one more confluence point. So here he's giving me a shark, right, which is the highlight being here. Here's the shark fin. So as we get a higher high here, but you can see how it fits in so nicely with the Elliott count. So coming off of the big rip here, or would we go here? That's into the 21. Well, we've double top now. So here's our first high. Not to belabor the point, but here's another just textbook example of why this is the worst place to enter the market. Right? I'm going to say it every day until people start to recognize this. You could say the same thing here, really. You could, because somebody bought that breakout right there thinking, okay, well, off we go to the moon. And it was very short-lived. So there's stops up here. So they use this, right? So this gets used by people that have size, market maker. Here you'd have some market maker, because this creates a bunch of liquidity here. So the market makers here can use that liquidity to want here. So which is just one more example, while here buying the breakout here, this is just, I mean, you just ass raped there. I mean, you look how far that, how do I, so you say, well, how do you know that, Sam? How do you know that that's happening? Look where that goes, right? As it's tapping that high, right? That's how you know. It's you could really say the same thing down here. It's really the same thing, right? So yeah, we get a little break here, but look how quickly that's rejected, and look where we go. So we're going from low to high, high to low. These are you've got to learn that discipline. Only the very, very inexperienced are buying breakouts, right? And they learn, hopefully, right? You either learn that lesson or you're not long for the markets, right? You're back to starting from scratch to refund an account. This is a terrible place to enter the markets, right? So I'm just going to drive that home until I just don't see anybody doing it anymore. Okay, so here we've got this. Oh, we got a nice 5 coming down, right? But that looks like, oh, well, I'm not going to be done here with a 5. So right, that right there. So maybe you thought ABC here, but we don't get the right. So it looks like as you're here on the hard right edge, you can make sense of this. So I can see a 5, clear 5. So something completes here. We got to account for that. Okay, so there's in green, there's the A. All right, from that now I get an A, a B, and a C. This is a little bit unusual, but it's essentially we've got a 3 here. So this would have been quite a stretch to try and turn that into an impulse. It's just not there, right? So 1, 2, 3, you're thinking, oh, on the retrace here, if it comes something else, but that's not what we get. We essentially get a 3. So the thinking process being, okay, that sure looks like an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This sure looks like a 3, just process of elimination. Dominant, right? So this is a double top. So now coming down here, looking for something at the 50. So here we ping the 50 to the tick. Now here we get this little space right here where we have a potential reversal zone here. So it's tricky, right? Because you might think, boy, that's close enough. You might be anticipating that they'll come and try and get that. Well, think about that. Now, if they can't get, I can't get rid of that. If they can't get beyond this low, to get the stops that are there for bears to drive it lower, if they can't get it on the next retrace, that's an area to be interested. So let me zoom in there. I can make a copy. His charts are so clean. I usually don't have to. Okay, so here's the technical. It's just that, right? So it's just a trade that is setting up with 3 nice risk reward scenarios. And I can just look. This will work. Copy. If I bring it down this way. So look, so he's going for the 23. The 50, or pardon me, the 38, it's the front run on each of these, 38, the 50, and the golden zone. He's just doing a little front run on each of them. But you see how he's getting 3.4 to 1. Here we've got, what has he got there? Can you read it? Well, that'd be a 22% return. Looks like that's 5.64. And here, this one is even more than I can't quite see it, right? So his risk is so small, I can't even see him in there. So all he's using is the golden zone here. So here's the tap on the golden zone. Here's the initial push. So we can see the algorithms responding there. Now here's the little retrace. So it looks like he's already long here. So you're just sitting with a tight stop. So risk reward, all very friendly. And you'd have another one in here. Right? It'd be a little steep, but you'd have another golden corner in here, right? Going for that. Now look at that. My guess is he did this deliberately. So my guess is what he did is he oh shit, I can't move it here. He tied these to when it would hit the median line. Right. My guess is that's why he did that. So here's the 23,618 and the 1, but look how they all hit the median lines. Boom, boom, boom. Right. That's really slick. Right. Well done, Grant. So, and then here's the Vegas wave here. Now we'd be looking to get up and over that. Right. So here's the first push, retest. Now we got to get over on the other side of the Vegas wave. So the first one, profit targets. Right. That's the key to what Grant is always doing. So he's just, what he's really doing is just making it easy for himself. So he doesn't have to wonder, if this starts to go, do I take it all off here? There's a trading plan here. Oh, I don't know. That's a pretty good trade. Maybe I should just take all of it. Well, he's going to take like my guess is, right? So may not be 33, 30. He may have 40% here, 20% here, 20, he might do something along those lines, but it's a trading plan and it's laid out for him. So it makes it easy for him. So the decision-making process is just now, okay, am I going to trail with a stop or am I just going to keep my stop here? If I get to the first target, am I going to keep my stop way down here? Well, perhaps there's a logical location. If this goes 1, 2, and we get a 3, 4, and we get into what this would be likely the 1, right? We're trying to get the 3 at the larger degree. If you got something like this, well, then you got to think about stop placement. So where, of course, if you got that, you're anticipating right off the bat that you're going to come back down at least to the 50. Now, are you okay giving back that 50%, right? So let's assume you bank some profit here. Now you're anticipating that you're going to give some back here. Now, is it a reload? Well, I think that would be a function, right? So because you can really, once a trade goes like this, what I want you to start thinking is that the opportunity is here for you to work each one of these legs to maximize the potential return. So if you get a 3 that comes down here like that, and just use here the structure here would be a logical place, right? So I've got support, resistance, right? So here, right at a 50, if you get it there, then you got to think, all right, so do I want to be long again here? Now I've already taken, let's take 40% profit here off of this first run. We know that's it's not likely to be the 3, right? I mean, I suppose you could always have, you could end up with something that would go 3, 4, 5, right? So you'd have a big extension in the 1. Remember, 3 just can't be the shortest, doesn't have to be the longest. So you might come to this and say, okay, well, now I'm anticipating giving back 50% of that. I'm going to bank some profit here. Do I want to reload here for the next target? I mean, here would be that target, right? So you can see it right here. These are high class problems, right? It's something to think about. So there's the target. If this is 1, 2, well, is that going to be 3? Probably not, right? So you're looking for something bigger here. So you can work this. So from the 2 to the pivot of the 1, right? Wait, I'm just using his targets. Well, now if I get a 50% back here, you have to look at them almost as though they're individual trades. Even though he's got this trade plan here, if I get this retracement, I get the opportunity to buy it at 50 at prior structure. I want to work that. I want to milk that because I'm really now it's playing Elliott ball with me. So I've got a 1, 2, 1. If I get the opportunity to buy it here, I know right where I am in the structure, and I've got the potential for that to turn into a much bigger trade. So even though this target right here, my 3, if it's right, see, I've got a 3 here. So right now, Grant's looking here like we don't know what's coming yet, but we can't. So I don't have this 5 here. But if I get a 5 here and then I get a retrace to a 50, I want to work that because I've got the potential to turn these 3 targets into even more if it's going to play ball. Same thing. If I get that 3rd here and then say we retrace to the median line, there's a pivot. Now I'm at the other side. Now I've taken profit twice. I got an extra a piece of it here because I took the kick into the 3rd. I'm at the 4. Now, am I going to get out here on the double top or am I going to go for the full count? Again, the high class problems here. If you can do that right here, right? Because of course, right, this would be, you'd have the potential risk of a double top right in front of the golden zone. You're going to have to get through the golden zone. But one way or another, if we're going to complete the impulse here, and again, I'm just drawing this as though it was going to play perfect Elliott ball. These are high class problems here because at this point here, you've taken 2 plus the internal 3. Now, do I just want to take that last little bit here and anticipate a double top? Those are kind of choices you want to have. Right. What's your worst case here? You take it gets rejected, and you scratch on this one. Well, you made money on the first one. You made money on the 3rd here where you milked it twice. Then here you scratched. Right, which would be a very typical scenario here. If you went up here, maybe you got a new high here, but you're going to bang right into the median line in a golden zone. Right. So one thing you certainly would not want to do is enter the market here. Right. That's just foolish. Right. I'd like to think I don't even need to say that, right? But you don't want to enter here at the median line at a golden zone, right? That's just suicidal, right? You just wouldn't do that. But so I just kind of making that point so even though we have 3 targets here, there can be some improv along the way based on how the market is moving. leverage it. If it's going to play ball, you want to get all of that third, all of that fifth. All right, let me keep moving. Grants are so easy, right? I don't have to spend a lot of time with these because they're so tightly done, right? His TA is so tight. Very well done, Grant F. Okay, so Mr. Jack, what do we got here? Coin, interesting. Okay. Hang on. Hey, Mr. Jack, Coinbase. Let's go ahead and make a full copy here. Right. So for those crypto enthusiasts that want to get a piece of some of the equity side of it, this is one way to get involved, right? So, well, this is pretty nice. Oh, it's interesting. Oh, I like this, Mr. Jack. Okay, so I see what you're doing here. So look, I can't see it. Well, I'm going to guess here that there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So we get a leading diagonal. Right. 5 longer than 3, 3 longer than 1. This is something I do a lot. Where what he's doing here is he's just drawing the volume profile here off of this section, looking for where the POC is. So when doing that, really what you're trying to do is tag that. All right. So if we're going to retrace, well, we know. Oh, so you could kind of look at it this way and say, okay, well, here's the value area, right? So right here on the edge, right? If we look at this price action here, you can almost do it this way. All right. So here's the value area. Okay. So if we come back into this here, particularly, I want to pay attention to the POC, right? This is where most of the volume happened. So big players that buy in the kind of size that they do here, they've got to hide those orders, right? They don't want to give it away, or people will front. They won't get the executions that they want. So they kind of do it. They try and do it as quietly as they can. So often these are where you hear the term iceberg orders, where there's a piece, but there's much more if they can fill it where there's enough volume here where they're not going to spook the market or alert the market to what they're doing, which is why the POC is always a point of interest. So if we get this, and of course, right, the criterion here would be, do I get it in a 3? Oh, lo and behold, look at this. So I've got a leading diag. Remember, the leading diag is the market fighting to establish the new trend. That's why you have so much overlap in diagonals, right? So fight between bulls and bears. Eventually, that's why in the leading diagonal, the 5 has to be longer than the 3, because it's the confirmation that bulls have the ball now. Well, we sure do get a deep retracement, but it comes right back to where. So if you were looking at that right here and you're saying, well, I wonder where would be the likely place for that to find some support? I mean, wouldn't that be the first thing that your eye would be drawn to? You'd say, well, probably POC would be a good spot. Yeah, there we go. Now, inside of that, so we've got the launch here, and I'm going to have to dig in there. Let's go. Okay, well, so it's not an easy one. Yeah, I'm with you. That looks like that's about right. So he's going 1A. He's doing it this. Okay, so he's going. It looks like he's going A, B, C to get that B. So we're expanding the B, and the reason he's doing that is because we've got to deal with that 5 that finishes. So just working backwards, this has got to be the 4, 3, 2. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, looks like you'd have to do. Oh, that looks like it's a triangle. So you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right now, we're not going down to the 5 minute to break all that down. It looks like the most reasonable assumption here. Now, remember, an algorithm's not going to care about the expanded B, right? That's all they care about. For us here, though, we're trying to use that and say, okay, if that's the 1, and this is A, B, C for the 2, where do we actually go here? Well, I'd look at both, right? You have to. You don't want to say, okay, there's the 1. I'm not going to pay attention to this higher pivot because I'm not be drawing here because the algorithm doesn't care about it, right? All the algorithm's going to use high to low. All right, where's the last dominant high? All right, so here from this, if I get on that low, little front run, probably. Why would I say that? All right, because look what happens here. Not only do we get the algo target to the tick, we're getting the median line to the tick. well, pardon me. This is the center line of the channel. Technically not a median line. He's just drawing the channel here. So we're getting that confluence point here where you hit the center of the channel, you get the reaction. So 1, 2, you're kind of stuck with that, right? It looks like this is the 4. So that's just your eyes. You can usually spot it. Where are we going sideways? Where do we stall before progressing the trend? Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we get a nice finish here. So 1, 2, 3. Here would be the 1, 6, 1, 8. So if bring it back here, there's the. Okay, do you see what we just got there? So here, if this is the 1. And this is the 2. Now I'm going up here. I'm getting damn near within a tick, the negative 1, 6, 1, 8. So if I draw that up here, again, these are shorthand. So if this is the 1 and that's the 2, right? Here's the 200%. Now here, the 1, 6, 1, 8, because the reason this is the negative 6, 1, 8 is hitting it here is because of the shallowness of the retrace, right? So if we had gone to the 50 or to the golden zone here, now you'd be at different levels here. This actually, if we had gone to a more traditional, well, now you'd have the 3 right here and the 4 and the 5. But since we get the shallow retrace here, right? If we just tee it up here, you're right at the 200 and the negative 1, 6, 1, 8. So again, these are just technical levels here to use as kind of a guideline, right? So the 3, the 4, it looks like he'd go A, B, C, and then there's a nice little finish here. Now, so he's this interesting call. Oh shit! Did you give it? Yeah, you must have given it to me in log. It's not much of a difference. I guess it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, okay, that would be a little bit surprising if that's. Oh, let's see. Did he give it to me in log? I don't think he did, actually. Okay, so as he's got it labeled here, right? And I know Mr. Jack knows this, right? So his assumption here is that that's the 1 of the 5, right? So because if we're going to put on a trade here, the assumption is we're not done. We don't have this 5 yet, so I'm going to push that up. So here, let me take that up a degree. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now could be 5. Oh, what do we got below? All right, so we've got there's the classic divergence that you'd look for, the traditional Elliott oscillator here, right? So if this is a wave 5, not surprising here that we would have divergence here. It's not as strong. We get overdone here, which like extended here. We'll say over 70 on the RSI. So you've got all of the ingredients here. So you'd have to be mindful of the fact that assuming the extension, the extension that we're going to go 1, 2 and have a kicker in the 5th. Well, you could use a few just traditional Elliott tools again. Now, so here I'm definitely going to use the length of the 1 as proposed here relative to the 4 and say, okay, well, can I get up here? Can I get a 2, 6, 1, 8 here? Well, that would mean I'm going to do something pretty extraordinary here. It means I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get up there and get that big extension in the 5th. Okay, right. So that's very bullish to make that assumption that we're going to go that far. So this is a trade I like. I like what he's doing here, but you're going to get your answer. So this would be one where you're very clearly going to maintain discipline on that stop, because it would be just so easy for this to fall. If we come down here up and then we get something deeper, well, then we know the 5 completed and you'd have a reload. Let's just consider that. Oh, let's see what he's doing here. Oh, did he get this trade? Let's look what he sent me. He must have. Oh, did you get this, Mr. Jack? Good for you. Looks like he did. All right, because I'm assuming what you've got drawn over here is your entry. Whoa, nice. Oh, what a beauty he got there. Well, look what he did, right? So he bought coming down here. Oh boy, this is nice TA. So look at the divergence here with the RSI as we come here. Get that like that. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's the copy. Well, either way here. So from the low down here, now I get a lower low. Look at the divergence, right? That's something, hey, heads up, something is going on there. So it looks like that might be what he bought off of here. So now he's just riding that, and it looks like he's got quite a trade on his hands. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to know pretty quickly if this breaks here, then the top is in. you'd be anticipating something deeper. So we'd look for, okay, maybe a 38, 50, and we're going to come down here, and then you get a reload. Right now, it's not broken the channel, and that may be the other thing that's guiding his thinking here. Since as long as we stay in that channel, no reason to assume we're not going to go higher. Let's just out of curiosity, let's go to the 15 so I can see his work in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Ballsy to assume that's the one, right? So very bullish. So ABC, is there an alternate here? No, that's the 4. So that has to do it. ABC. Well, I suppose even on a 15, if we're gonna finish this with a 5, don't really have it yet. It has to be the A, B, C. Boy, I'm down on a 15. So there's really not enough structure here to really work with it. Might bring that down a tad. What do you got there? I mean, even to a 5, there's really not much there to shape it. Okay, maybe that's 1, 2. Oh, it looks like we might do it this way. 1, 2, right? So already not looking great. So that's got to. Let's go here. Okay, 1, 2, maybe. All right, so maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe that's your 1. Now I'm down on a 5-minute. Looks like that might be a 50. All right, nothing different down here. It just happens faster. A little shallow. All right, so we're looking for the 3 down here. 4, 5. Right. So this is going to have to play pretty quickly, pretty strongly. This is a 5-minute. All right, so we're going to do this. Take that up. Yeah. Let's put that in the blue. Okay, so we're going to get a C down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, when you get down to the 5 minutes, it just gets. So word I want to use. It's so much more volatile. You have so much more chop that you lose some of the wave structure here. So for example, what are we calling that? All right. So it's just going nowhere, or it's just chop. But down in the 5-minute, you're going to see a lot of that, right? So same here, right? How are we defining that? All right, it gets much, much harder here to really put any structure around it here. So if I'm going down to a 5 minutes, only because I'm trying to clarify a count, right? Is there really a 3 there? Is there really a 5 here? So what he's doing here is ambitious, right? He's saying that's a 1, and we're going to, anything down here has got to be considered an opportunity to be a buyer for that potential extension in the 5th, but I would not give that a lot of room. I might use the 707 or this structure here. You can't give that a lot of room because the potential for it to be done is too high. But a ballsy trade, I like it. I like the setup here, and now it's just to kind of hurry up and wait and see if this will come down and finish that 5. So you got a good candidate for the 2. Well, so big volume here. Oh, I'm on the 5-minute. Let's go back to the 60. A heavier sell volume here after we pull, which what you're anticipating it's going to retrace here. That's got to have the sellers for it to retrace. Yeah. It's we got a little. So from this high, right, we got a little divergence this way from this high here. So the retrace here makes sense, but you want to see it, keep going, right? So come down lower, and then you want to see something like this bar here if buyers are going to decide to kick in here, you're going to have an algorithm there, of course, right? There's going to be a 618 here. If that's going to come down, then you want to see some bigger volume to come in to support it. Good trade, right? So that's not going to be for everybody, but that's one, if you're disciplined on the stop, there's no reason not to, right? Here's which I think he's already got it drawn up here. So from this pivot to this pivot, 50 to the golden zone, so we're talking 311 to 307. I'd probably do it with options here because of the potential bigger risk here. So I might do a call spread or wait here and oh, if it's going to come down here, remember, if it's going to come down lower, I want to be buying calls when it's going down. I want to be selling puts when it's going down. So I might sell an out of the money put spread here to finance the call. And then if it comes up higher and challenges that, then sell an out of the money call. So you've got a put spread. You've sold a put spread and bought a call spread. That's a way you can offset the costs of the options you're buying. That might be, now you are adding some risk, because if it tanks, you're going to have the risk of the spread of the two puts you sold, or the put you sold relative to the put you bought, which gave you a credit. So you're going to have that exposure. Just something to think about here, which you can do here in Coinbase. So there we go. All right. So good, interesting setup, Mr. Jack. I like it. Okay, so next up, I got hacked off. Hacked off. What are you giving me? Hacked off. His handle. He's been posting quite a bit lately. Okay, so we got. Please look at AMD. This is even more bullish version of my original due to recent price. So where is AMD? Right here. AMD. Oh shit! I got to copy this. Oh, sorry. Okay, I got it. All right, so last earnings coming up October. No, we've had that. All right, so let's get in here. All right, so I got multiple channels. Oh, let me just zoom in there and see what I've got here. I feel like I want to go to log scale here to see this a little bit better. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Kind of surprised he didn't give it to me in log scale, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. So we get a sideways 2. 1, 2. Wow, interesting, right? So 1, 2 again. So do you see what he's doing? 1, 2. Not going to be the 3. So the 1 of the 3. But this is where he's going big time here. So he's going 1, 1, 2. And then instead of going 3, 4, 5, right, which now given the additional kicker here, what it forces you to do is say, okay, well, it looked like that might have been done up here, but now I've got another leg coming, so I got to work backwards. Okay, so if I'm working backwards here, well, this sure looks like the 4 zone, right, where we're just kind of a squishy sell-off here. We're not really going anywhere. We're not getting a dramatic sell-off. We're just kind of going sideways, and then we got another leg. So if this is 4, 3, well, can I get an impulse here? Yeah, I can. Do I get a 3 here? Can I get an impulse here? So it's just process of elimination. Now it looks like we're headed towards a scenario where the 3 would be shorter than the 1. So because of this big rip here, which this would have been at that moment in time, you'd probably been putting the 3 here thinking, oh, there's my 3, 4. But since we've got this additional leg going here, now 1, 2, if that's going to be the 3, 4, there's a limit here to how far that can go. And that would be, well, we might be pretty close to it actually. Hopefully well, let me clarify this. He's got a button. Let me get this one off. There we go. That's on. Okay, we'll leave that off. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, there's the 3. Now there's some nice detail work in here. A, B, C, W, X, A, B, C, Y, X, A, B. Okay, let's go with it here. So A, B, C for the 4 down here. Where I was headed with that is now we got to pay attention to the length of the 5 relative to the 3rd. All right, so there'll be an invalidation point here. All right, so we mark that where the 3rd would be the shortest. So if it's going to go up there, and his count may be implying this, then perhaps this has to be relabeled if we're going to get the 3rd up here. So do you see what I'm doing here? If this 1, 2, and 3 is shorter than 1, well, I got to make sure that 5 is not longer than 3, leaving 3 as the shortest. So the way he's counting it right now, you get a very clear invalidation point. It doesn't hurt the count though. So from his perspective, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're just working towards completing that 5. But that said, the way he's got it drawn here, or way he's got this labeled, if I come back to his 1, let's work that off here. Just force a habit. All right. So structure. I would just keep these. I do this just force a habit. Okay, so 1, 2. Oh, let's just right. You use the tools, right? If that's the 2, right, here's where I'm looking for that. This 3 is potentially would have been up here, right? So we're already now coming up on that for this 1, 2, right? So could that work? Well, if this is the 1, 2, what I'm looking for is this 3 here. Here I'm looking for this 3 somewhere in this range here. So that we could be approaching it here, 3, 4. Now that, but look at what I'd be putting together there. You got to look at these. Right? That's why I always do this. So you see this now. So would that be 3, 4, 5? That could work. I mean, it's a massive extension in the 3rd, but for AMD, right? You can kind of get your head around that. Is that going to be the 3rd at the higher degree? Because that's what we're talking about. So if we were to finish up here, could that play as it's currently labeled? Well, this would be the key here, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? As long as it holds that by a tick, we don't do more than that. And we get the 3 here, right? Which would be just beyond this. So you can see how this could get right in that pocket. That's where we don't want it to go. I'd be looking for, well, of course, right? You just use if that's the 2. And if I get this, so then I'm just picking this number up here. I were to get a retrace, so you can look at it and say, okay, where would it make sense if it were going to retrace, right? Would it come back here where it's just now tested, where this was the resistance, now it's the support? If it's going to come back for the 4 and retest here, that's I essentially what I would do is just use the prior 3, 4. So maybe it's better to do it this way. I would just use this whole section as the target. So you're down a degree to the prior 3, 4 for this target of that 4. Anywhere in this range, you'd be interested in being a buyer here for that to come up here and finish and give you that 5. So 1, 2, there's the 3, right? Mindful of where we invalidate. 4, back to structure. Prior 3, 4, one more kick up for the 5. You'd have just a beautiful set trade right here. So where's the trade? Well, let's dig in there a little bit. Is there enough right here? 1, 2. Oh, got here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Right, logical. Short and sharp, sideways and complex. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like there's one more kick there. So, all right, this looks all quite good. It's a little tricky. It's an unusual count. 1, 2, 3, 4, a little sideways there for the 5. So looking for that 3 is same thing, right? You'll notice it's done the same way every time. That's the power of it. Right. So we've got the 2, 6, 1, 8 here. We've just come up shy. So that's a reasonable location to put the 3 here for that to play that way. 1, 2, 3. Now looking for the 4. Right. Again, just very rudimentary stuff here. I just would wick that off as just a marker here. We're already going to come back here and test some of that structure. I'd wick this one off too, right, as a potential candidate here for some prior resistance to service some structure. So again, right back to the just standard ops, right? There's no reason we're not, it's a little early to assume that pivot is in. So if I'm going to get anything down here in this little pocket, this is where I'm looking for it, between the 23 and the 38. For that 4 to give me that last little kick up for the 5. Now, is that worth taking right there? Talking from 117 to 134, definitely. I mean, there's definitely a trade there. But what are you anticipating after that? All right. So if you got that, I don't know that I would just be assuming we're off to the moon here. At some point, there's going to be the anticipation that you're going to get a retrace. So you don't have to try and pick the top, but you want to have a target where at least you're banking some, right? You always, right? If you can, bank something, even if it's just 20% of it, bank it, and then bring your stop up just in case it keeps going, right? So lock in lock in some profit. But if that's 3, 4, and that this completes the 5 up here, this is the 3. This is the 4 you're interested in relative to that 1, 2, where we drew this the prior 3, 4. So anything down here to retrace. Let's do it this way. As we drew it here, I'd have to pull out here just to show you that again. So 1, 2, 3. If that's the 3 here, right? This is the 4 we're looking for. All right, so from this, I think that was, hopefully that was clear, right? You're pulling from the 2 through the proposed pivot here. So anything down here, very interesting. So you've got the opportunity to be a buyer down here into all of this. You could consider this reaccumulation here as it's going sideways, but now we kick up here. So for this to go up and complete that entire wave count. Right. So either you're going to sit tight and wait for that 3 to come back for the 4. This just goes on your watch list. Or if you're going to actively trade this, you trade it long, trade it short, trade it long. I mean, that's kind of in the same spirit of what I was saying before here. If you've got this established Elliott structure here, and so far while there's been a few spots that are quite tricky here, if we get up here and get this 3, again, maybe you're not shorting AMD, but you could sell some out of the money calls and buy a put spread, right? I mean, there's a lot of, not to get into a detailed options analysis here, but I mean, you can keep it simple, right? If the market's going up, I'm interested in buying puts because they're less expensive. The market's coming down, I'm interested in buying calls because they're less expensive. Now, if I can get that at least, or 2 out of the 3, so I can take the calls here, the puts here, the calls here. Right. Okay. So that really nice work there, hacked off. A tricky count, very tricky count. So I'm impressed with the way you handled that here, and particularly not falling into, oh, well, that couldn't be the 3, right? So because it would have been easy to think 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, well, it must be 1, 2. All right. Well, very well done. Right. So that's one to keep on your watch list, guys. I would suggest that's a nice setup, right? When it's playing Elliott ball, you want to get in and maximize it. Okay, so let me keep moving here. So I got ZZ Anderson with TILRAY. Oh, that's funny. I had that up today, and then I took it off because I hadn't looked at it. So it had to have been yours then. What do I want here? Let's see if I get that. TILRAY. Unresolved gap. Well, let me make a copy here. Okay. Give me a daily. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, what a pump and dump that is. Well, I'm glad that just happened here, because it's easy to bring something up like this and not get context and like, oh my God, what? Get some context. Right. Be sure that I've done it. Right. I've done it. Right. And something's happening, you're day trading, right? You don't take the time, right, to put that in context, right? Really, change your view of things. This might be far enough here where you might want to consider that in log scale here. It looks like, well, he didn't give it to me in log, so I'll leave it off. ZZ, I'm going to guess that you probably considered both here. I'll stay with what you gave me. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 unresolved gap. Right, gap markets rarely leave a gap, so you've got a very tiny unresolved gap there. Well, that's pretty damn close. Well, at this point, you're kind of stuck with, all right, whatever we did. I mean, again, you can kind of simplify here. Now, I know this is not to make light of the TA here, but what did we do here? Right, so base, moonshot right back to base. Home base. All right, so anything here. Now, let's go on an 8 hour. They're going to give me anything else. Maybe a 4. Why that is just so pinned. Well, I guess what I was trying to get to here is I'd want to see this give me a little bit more here. I'd want to see a 5 come out of that, just to confirm the trend change, because this is just, we're getting crushed so hard here. At least confirm for me, because you can see here that you might have thought, okay, come here. It would have been easy, right? It's just sometimes the history will give you this lesson, right? So it would have been easy to think, oh, hey, there's my 1, 2, I'm off to the moon. right? And it rolls over. So you're kind of, you get kind of your A, B, C is already kind of ugly, right? And you barely can make that work out. So, Jesus. I mean, this is a bit of a squeeze here. So, I mean, you've got an impulse here, but this looks like you'd have to go A, B, C into a W. That's a bit of a squeeze on an X, and it looks like a 5. So this is one of those examples, right? Is there Elliott here? Yeah. Is this really playing Elliott ball like we were just looking at with AMD? Not really, right? There's not a clean, clear account. So thus all the more why, you know, for that same reason here, right? So you could label it, right? You can kind of see this. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, my impulse is in. Oh, so right here, you'd have been thinking, oh, okay, I got my A, B, maybe it's here, right? Or C here, right here. So you might have been thinking, oh, do I get going here? Am I going to start? That looks like that might be a 7, 8, 6. Another rollover, right? So this, you're going so counter trend. Now, do we have enough here to get started and say, oh, well, do we have a higher high? Well, not really on the daily here, not quite. Yeah, I mean, we do relative to this last little swing, but here's the last dominant. I want to see that get taken out. So you have to think about what am I going to have to deal with, right? So let's start. If that were the low. Okay, well, there's 50 to the tick. So, you know, there's software looking for that, right? I mean, we don't have to wonder about that. We know that's where that's headed. If they can get it there, it means they got to break the stops there, use that to get down here for fuel. Look where we'll be, right? Golden zone. So to come down here, that's all the more why I would want this to give me something to show me, okay, we've got now the trend has changed. I've got a series, not just one. I've got a series of higher highs, higher lows. And you're going to have to do this to every one of these pivots, right? You're going to fight that on every one of these until you get to the biggest. Well, I don't know if that is the biggest one. Is that the biggest one? No, it's not, right? So you got a lot of work to do, right? So major trend change. Then you're going to have to go to this one. Then you have to go to the all the way high. So every one of those is going to be a battle on the way back, right? To try and get through. So if you were going to look for that, the long side, I get this. This is my natural tendency. So this is something that I have to fight. And I still to this day have to fight it. When the market is going down, I am dying to pick the turn. It's instinctivly, I'm going, oh, what's coming down? So where's the low? Where's the bottom? Oh, shit, I can't even tell there. So I have to fight that. So so while I drone this into you guys in doing that, I'm reinforcing it in my own mind as well, right? As they say, right? If you want to really learn something, teach it. So it just reinforces for me all the time because I have this natural tendency. I want to pick the turn. I want to pick the low. Say, oh, I got it. And even if you were to get that and say, oh, well, all right, well, I missed that one. Are you really sad about it? Not really. Right? Come back to that structure. That's the one I'm looking for. This, there's a lot of risk here. Oh, so I'm going to turn this very established trend around because I saw one higher low. All right. How about here? Right. Higher low with that. Right. It's just when they're coming down like that, I want confirm the fucking thing, right? Give me the clean 5 because I'm not worried. I'm not worried about, oh my God, it's off to the moon. Now I'm going to miss it. Oh, good. Right. So you're showing me signs of life here. Oh, okay. I've got a series here. Now what? So, all right. Same process every time. What would I have here? All right. That's what I'm looking for. 1, 2, 3. Oh, well, it's likely not going to do it in a straight line. All right, so there's going to be opportunity to get in there. So it's just, I know there's so much repetition here, but as an educator, that's how people learn, right? It's through the relentless repetition. That's how I learned. I mean, but, as I would remind you guys, everything that I teach was taught to me. Everything. Right now, the only thing that can't be taught is just the years of experience in the market, right? Because I've seen so many things. I've made so many mistakes. That's why I can confidently, that's why I can do these without looking at anything, right? I have so many years of doing this here. There's almost not, I can't think if there's anything that I haven't seen. So when I tell you this, a lot of times it's just reinforcing things in my own mind, but just trying to save you having to learn it the hard way. I wouldn't counsel this if I hadn't lived it and tested it. Get that 5 out of get it out of the hole here. At least show the 5, because look where you are. You're still in the whole accumulation range. You're still down here. It's a bit ballsy to assume that, oh, I'm going to pick the turn down here, and now I'm there. That's the one I'm going to get, right? If you really, that's what you'd want to get, because at the end of the day, this is how far this is going to have to go to kill. Look at how far this is going to have to go to kill the sell side algos. They're going to be hammering you the whole way. Every one of those pivots, you're going to have to fight that sell side. So at the very least, let me start with a 5, because I know I got a lot of work, right? A lot of bullish momentum has to turn, right? The complete psychology of this market has to turn all the way up to 47 and change, right? What are we at right now? 9, right? Long way to go, which all the more why I go, oh, I'm not really worried about missing that, right? Even that, what's that going to be? That'll be the 1 at that degree. If we're going to go back up here and take out that high, you get a nice big rip like that. Now, just like I said when we started, you'd be right here thinking, holy shit, look at this. Look at this monster move I just made. Look at all this resistance I broke. Well, be sure you put that in some context. You're not even to the 50 yet. All right, let me keep moving. Thanks, ZZ. Interesting pick. Interesting. Right, tight. But no need to be a hero down there and pick the turn. Oh, all right. Which I think, Monty, I think we got. Oh, hey, there's Allied Master Computer. I love this guy. All right, Allied. Whoa, you're very busy today, Allied. All right, a lot of content. Good for you.
Done with all the requests.
So that's all the requests from members. Now, I stacked up a few things that I thought we'd look at. Let me see what I've got here. Well, I guess we can start with Tesla. Okay, so let's go to Tesla. Elon Musk I'm pretty sure now he's the richest guy on the planet. After this move yesterday off of the Hertz news, I'm assuming all of you guys saw that same thing. Now it gets a little funky. It depends how you look at it here. This is actually. TradingView does a nice job here. So they factor in the split, right? So from the split. So we just work at it from here. So here's the COVID low. Oh, why am I on capital.com? Oh, that seems weird. Why am I on that? I want to be on that. There we go. I thought that looked odd. Okay, so we got same count. So here's the COVID low here. So I can just recreate this real quick. 2, 3. That looks like a 4 or 5. Well, let's go out a little bit further. So they were in logs. So you're kind of. I don't see a better way to count this here. You're kind of stuck with this 1, 2 here, 3, 4, 5. Just working off of the broad shapes here. Oh, it looks like that you'd have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a little skinny, but you might even have to truncate there. That looks like that's your best. This looks like the 4. You don't get a great finish there. Let's go back to that daily. That looks like the 3. Looks like you did a complex there. So let's come back here. Put that in the right context. Let's put that up. Minor. Let's go to blue here. Okay, 1, 2. Well, this one's easy enough, right? So I don't think this is a perfect golden. So with deep retracement here is fairly straightforward. Okay, what we retrace to, right? The prior resistance, come right back to it, right? So I know, right? So guys, look, I get it, right? So when we're doing this, how nice in hindsight, right? But still, if you're coming down to that, I mean, if you're thinking about, oh, geez, that's a pretty severe move, right? When the COVID low is happening, if you were looking at the chart saying, well, where is this likely to find some support? I mean, you had a pretty good location here, but would you, certainly I would not have been comfortable just buying that right in the peak of the COVID mania. But this one, different story, right? That's the one you can buy. And it looks like that's a 50 or pretty damn close, maybe a slight front run. A couple of ticks off of it. That's one you can buy, right? There's the example I give you guys over and over and over again, because I don't want you to have to think, oh man, I'm going to buy that low. No, you don't need to. Okay, I got a higher low. Oh, I got a higher high. Okay, something's happening here. Per the Elliott count, that's not ideal. It looks like that's a WXY, because you have to go ABC. All right, let me zoom back out here. Now, since we're doing this in log, right? If you're going to match this, you got to do it in log. Three. So there's the 4, right? So you can almost kind of always back into these. So there, you just find the 4, right? That makes it a lot easier. So there's the 4, right? Triangle in the 4. So we got to go 1, 2. Monster rip in the 3. So 1, 2, 3, there's the 4, the third to give you the 3. So there's your 3 high. So it looks like that's the way you got to do it. That's a big extension in the third, but right, if anything's going to, not surprising that we get that in Tesla. Okay, so there's a reasonable candidate for the third. Now, if this keeps going, you can see, oh shit, maybe I got to redo this over here, except where would be your 2, right? That's the logical 2. So I think you're likely going to stick with this. Otherwise, we got something really unusual, right? But Tesla is definitely something unusual. So 1, 2, well, of course, right, just standard procedure here. We'd take the 2 through the 4, see how that looks. It looks like that's going to be 23-ish. Didn't even make the 23. All right, shallow. But here's the, looks like ABC, right? Put in the 4 right here. Now this looks like we've already got started on the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. 1, 2. Whoa. Hang on. We got to do that in a diag. Looks like we do. Now there's the 1, right? One of the advantages of doing it this way. 1, 2, 3. Yep, we're going to have to do it that way. So we'd have to do it this way as an A, B, C. Let's bring you down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's got to be the 2. So we get a diag to start it with. 2, 3, 4, 5 would be where I'd start here until measuring. I'd love to see a 50 at the start of the 1 through the pivot of the 3. I get it to the tick. So I like this for a 1, 2. All right, so let's just do the math, all right? From here, if that's the 1 and that holds as the 2, all right, here's where I'm looking for the 3. So we can now start to label that up. So we can go 1, 2. Right now, looks like the 3. Nothing says that has to be done. Go to micro, go to green. Okay, so 1, 1, 2. All right, force a habit. It's always a good idea to do this. Wick off your 1s, right? You may end up moving them, but right now it kind of frames it for me. Okay, well, here's the first one. Here's the second. Here's the 2. So I got my 1, 2. Looks like that's Jesus. Not much of a 2 there either, right? So that's your deepest retracement. So already you're a little 1, 2, I suppose, right? So right now there's not enough there to really clamp that down and say there's the 3, but at least you're at in the location where you might anticipate it. Okay. Well, obviously we're going to pay attention to that. For any kind of retrace, it's just this is the same thing. I don't want what you should be seeing is, God, this guy does it the same way every time. Exactly. That's what I hope you get out of this. Okay. All right, we can just put all the pieces together here. Oh, we didn't quite, right? So ideally that 5 would go a little further, right? For a perfect, I'm not a purist, right? So I'm not going to require that to touch that trend line here. I don't see an account that I prefer. So I like this as the 1-2, but duly noted, that's not perfect. 1-2, 1-2, looks like that's all we got to work with here. Excuse me. I'd wick this off too here, just to tend to use the close rather than the wick, right? So that's giving me kind of another location here. If I get any sort of a deeper retracement here, I sure as hell I'm going to pay attention to the fact that I've got structure here at the golden zone, but I'm not anticipating a 4 to come that low, right? That would be, particularly for Tesla, surprising. But look where the 38 comes in. So if that comes in a 3, that's a must take, right? I mean, this is a gift, right? If Tesla gives you that, why would you not take that trade? So what I always like to ask people, what are you looking for? Something better? You're looking for something better than Tesla? Maybe Bitcoin, right? I might join you there, something like that. Now that's going to be mighty skinny here for the 4. So if we're thinking the 38, I am in log, right? So it gets a little wonky here. Probably take out a log for this analysis here. Do it here. Let's do it this way now. Since I'm out of log, let me redraw that. Log screws up channels. That's the one bummer, right? So you're already here if you're just going to use this, right? So we don't. So of course, in a perfect scenario, this would go down to here, right? We'd use that. We'd have the 4 here. We don't expect perfect. Something like that. If I can get that in a 3, I'd be very interested. It's 2. You can look at it and see it's 2. The angle is not right for median lines, right? It's already gone too far. So thus the channel. Right now, I just use what's there. I mean, that's not that complicated. It's just what your personal preference is. You want to look at that in log or not, right? I tend to, once I start in log, I will stay in log. 3 in the 4. So here's the trade, right? You're looking for right there. And let's see if we can put one more piece on that. Length of the 1 from let's use the 38 in the prior structure. Well, you got a nice little combination of an algo target up here, and that 100 puts Tesla at 1200 right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that potentially, now nothing says that has to be the top. Nothing says that could be the 1 of the 5. Could well be the 1 of the 5. But look at the whole thing, right? So then again, does it have the right look, right? So now there's, again, nothing that says that it has to stop here, right? But if we go up and we get that, that's a pretty good looking impulse, right? Big move here, all the subdivision, hyper extension in the 3rd of the 3rd, which is not atypical here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come up here to, oh shit. I mean, you could go 1200 to 1500, anywhere in that range. Looks good. So any sort of a retrace down here to 900 with a 1200 to 1500 target. You're looking for something better. You might be looking for something less that would require less capital, right? So likely you're going to trade this in options rather than the underlying. Be my guess, right? Based on who's likely watching here. But that would give you an opportunity to buy some, well, again, if it's coming down, right into structure, you'd sell some out of the money put spread. So you're defining the risk, use that capital, buy the call. I don't like to sell a put spread and then immediately buy the call spread because I'm anticipating the trade's going to go higher. So I don't want to cap it right now. I want to buy the call. I want to use the put spread to pay for the call. Now, as it starts to go up and those out of the money calls are getting filled with premium here, right? So you'd be selling out of the money, so no intrinsic, but as the price is going up, the out of the money calls are going higher. So I want to let that go up here, and then I want to sell the final call when I think I'm at a technical pivot. So I've used the put spread to pay for the call, and then I'm ultimately trying to sell the call here to offset, so I can almost be in the thing for no out of pocket. Now you can't always do that. And the downside of that is that you're going to cap the upside. So with the call that you sell. So if it has another leg here, you're not going to participate. But if you sell the put spread and buy a call and then sell a call, you're going to have a nice trade on your hands. So it's a high class problem to have. So there we go. I think that gives us a good target here for Tesla based on this last price action here. All right, let me keep moving. Let's see, what else did we do? I know I had a list over here. I had Tesla, and we had Tesla. I looked at Apple. I'm going to come. I think I have Apple over here in Motive Wave. All right, so you guys know I use this a lot, but I don't show it here as often because the majority of our members are all working with TradingView here. But this is my, I mean, this is as good as it gets, guys. There's nothing better on the market. Let's see. I don't want that. All right. So let's look at Apple. So now here with Apple, here's the split, right? So we're going to work off of the split low. So coming off of that clear impulse into the 1, shallow 2 is only goes 23. Right? Think, these raging bulls, you don't get the deep retracements here. You get a 23 relative to that completed 1, but I think here, let's see. It's right to the golden zone, right? So from the 4 to the pivot of the 1. So so you're thinking 2 here, but that's the 2 relative to this 1, 2. Pardon me. That's the 2 relative to this 0 completing. Right, so you've got a bit of confluence here. It's shallow, but look, we fall right into the golden zone from the last dominant. Right, not including the low, the split low for the completion of the 1. It's only a 23 in that too, but it's a perfect golden zone from the last pivot low. Right, so we know the algorithm here. Look, you hear me say that all the time. Well, how do you say, Sam? How do you know it's an algorithm? That's how. Right, it's not the entry here; it's the reaction at the target. I mean, that's tick to tick. I mean, there should be that should affect you, right? If you haven't completely internalized this, that this is the DNA of the market. This is how it moves. It's not why it moves, but this algorithm dominates how it moves. If you haven't completely internalized that should do it for you. Well, I mean, there's I suppose the 15,000 examples I've shown here over the last 3 years. That might help. But if you want to see it tick to tick, there it is in Apple. All right, so that would tell you, one, I've got another impulse here. So why would you assume anything other than 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So it's not going to be 1, 2. Well, again, it could be, right? But it's more probable here that what we're just doing is another 1, 2, right? I wouldn't be trying to pick the top in Apple. So let's pull that off. Okay, so I got a completed impulse. So here, there's a lot of, it's just, Motive Wave has all of these features here that make it easy for an Elliottician, right? So you got to be careful about letting it pick the count for you. There are times where it'll nail it, or you might think of something and say, well, how does that, you can ask Motive Wave to show it to you. So for example, I can look at that 3 and say, well, show me the impulse in there. Oh, decompose the impulse in there. Can I get one in there? Let me lower that degree. Let's go down to minuscule. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So there's the impulse. Now it shows me the impulse in here, so I know that's a valid 3. That's where it can be helpful, right? Now this could be here. A, B, C, right? So when you're letting the computer pick it doesn't have any. It's just working off a mathematical rule set here. So there are times when you're going to want to change it, but there are other times where it'll just nail it, right? So ABC here is awfully good here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like another 1. There's the 2. So right here, same kind of thing. Okay. So show me where's the typical 2 going to be here? Well, I don't make the well, here they highlight, right? Motive Wave will highlight the most common, right? For a 2, it's unusual to only make the between the 38 and the 50, but the structure seems to hold it. This B seems to be involved here as we come down and tap that. So there's 1, 2, there's a possibility here that this has to get relabeled, that this could be 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, here I can do that on the fly. Let's do it. All right. So you can kind of put together an alternate on the fly. So could that be an alternate here? That's still going to go. Well, same thing here. Now I would just do I will get you out of there. So if I'm putting it there, well, then do I see, get out of there. Do I see the potential here for a completed impulse? If that's the 2, I might, yeah, I guess you got to do it that way because this is a 3. So if that's going to hold as a 3, let's decompose the impulse in there. Does that make sense? 1, 2. Well, that sure looks like a 4, right? That was kind of what I was just doing, saying, oh, that looks more like that's the ABC. Now you got to finish the 5. So could that be right? That we still have more to go. Let me take that up a degree. Oh, degree. Let's go up 1. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So why would you might even lean there? Because I don't overlap the 1. Right. And it looks like right from the 3 to the 4. Let's do 3 to the 4. Okay, that's right. So if the high probability zones get highlighted, 23 to the 38. All right, but a 50 here. So we know an algorithm kicked in there. We don't have to wonder about it. We know what happened there. All right, so 1, 2, 3 works. 4. We're going up for that 5 to get a higher one, or maybe this is the 1, 2. Right? Is that going to be the 3? Probably not. Right? Same kind of thing. Right? Show me the 3 for the 1. Right? That's going to be much higher. All right, that's going to be way. Oh shit! I'm going to have to go way up here. Can't even get there. For that 3, look where we're heading in price now. Can't even get there. It's way the hell up here. If that's the 1, 2, 3, we got a long way to go. So if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, we're still looking for the 1 of the 3. All of this would just go up, 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 and out. So now let's pop that up here. Get off of it. There we go. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4. Candidate, right? Pretty nice looking impulse, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going up for the 5. So same thing. 5 for the 1. Right, here's the 100. That's the most common, right? This is so the 618 is there if you have a deep 4, right? Which we did have a deepish 4, right? The deeper the 4, then you start targeting the 618, right? But if you're going to have a traditional 4 here, which is, I'd put the 50 at the limit of that, then you'd stick with that target of that 1. Now I can do it here. And these are just time savers. Then I can show me the channel, all right? So here's my nice Elliott channel if I wanted to change that color because I wanted to just emphasize it. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm seeking that 5. Just kind of demonstrating that there's so much horsepower here in a motive way for an Elliottician, but it's not just an Elliott based software, right? I mean, you can go right down to order flow and exotic GAN and there's almost nothing it doesn't do, right? It's really just an incredible piece of software. If you're interested in it, as I said, there's always in our link tree underneath this video here, they give you a 2-week free trial. You probably change the way you think about TA. Right? It's a really good product. Okay, so there's that one. So I got, what did I get my crypto? We had talked about, so I got Tesla, I got Apple. Did I do Apple? I got Apple. I got Facebook. I haven't even looked at Facebook. We'll do it on the fly. We did Apple. Did we do Apple? We did Apple, didn't we? Yeah, we did Apple. I just did it on Moto. Okay, so I'm going to do Facebook here. Okay, Facebook nobody's happy with Facebook right now. Okay, let's go to log and see how we look here. Well, that's COVID, right? So just looking at it, well, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks just all right. So a lot of times, right, it's just you throw some numbers up, right? Let's see. Okay, now can I make that all work? So just at your first glance, okay, well that might be a B. WX. Huh? It looks like that. So you have almost no retracements here. It makes me curious here just to check this. What do we get here? Front run. If that's the 2. And that's out of log, right? So from the 2 low, probably make that work. But that's going from 0 to 220. Really, you should do it in log. That's kind of gnarly, right? What I was thinking that might be the 3 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like you got to go A, B, C. Well, I don't love that. Well, so clearly 1, 2 there. So coming off of this, all right, let's see if we can make sense of that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's take this up. Let's go to minuet, put that in white, 1. Let's just, yeah. Right now, see, I can do this faster in motive wave here, but I don't want to dwell on that since I know most don't have it. 1, 2, that's a mighty deep 2. Where's your, boy, that's ugly. All right, let's go down to an 8. It's a little tricky in here. So right off the bat, you're going, okay, well, that looks like the 4. So where's the 2? Do I have a 2 in there? Well, you're going to have to use that. 3, 4. Okay, that works. So we can get that in. So that looks like 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd have to do 3, 4, 5. Now let's bring that down. So this looks like the 4 of the internal. So if I work backwards here, this has got to be the 4. There's the 3. So you can see it here now. So it's 1. I'll draw it here. You can see this, right? So I'm assuming most of you guys will catch this when you're looking at it on your own machine. That looks like you went A, B, C. So there's the 4. Now there's the 5, right? So so it's just like if I was in motive wave and I put the 3 there and I said, show me the impulse there, right? And then you kind of got to evaluate it and say, is that a force fit or is there really an impulse there? Okay, well, this looks like the classic, right? The 4s are usually the easy thing to spot, right? So we're just going sideways, right? This classic 4, right? So I got sharp here and short. I got sideways, right? So nice alternation, but just what you're looking for. So I've got a candidate here, given all the bad media here. Yeah, the Facebook it's funny, right? So I every now and then will go, oh, Jesus, I'm never going. I don't actually go on it, but I keep an account just for our business purposes. And I think that's what most people do. They go, well, yeah, I wouldn't use it, right? I don't want to, whatever, you guys, I'm assuming are aware of all the media attention that's getting right now. But it's such a valuable business resource. I think people just they could just continue to use it. 1, 2, 3, 4 looks like that's done. So you got a pretty good impulse underway. Prior 3, 4 down a degree, right? So all of this potentially nice area here for support. Do you really have a 3 there? I don't know. It doesn't look like you do. Looks like you're just getting started on that. Well, that could be the A. Not much of a B. This could be A. This could be A, B, and then we'll kick up again. Earnings this afternoon. I think it's after the close today. So high risk to be doing it today. I wouldn't unless you want to take a flyer or you're going to do a straddle or something along those lines to where you're going to try and take advantage of volatility on either direction. And you got to, the problem is they'll release it after hours and you won't be able to execute if you wanted to bail on one side. So, okay, just right now, that's all you got. Right? B, right? You got to put it somewhere. Granted, that could go higher. This could be an expanded B of the B, but right now that's all you got, right? It looks like there's a little AB in there, ABC. So if it comes down lower, it's not a bad setup. So you got, here, I might even do it like this. Okay, I got high volume here tied to this. As we were saying before, right? Muscle, and there would be plenty of muscle to buy it. They're going to want to buy size. They're going to want to look for high volume nodes so they can bury that size, so they can hide it. From the 2 here, you want to be paying attention to where the algo is and what it did last. Right. So right now, since it would have to be something internal at a smaller degree. The last swing that I've got, we're just in the process of the first retracement. Now, is that enough? You wouldn't want to be fucking with this, the day of earnings release. I wouldn't, let me rephrase there. I wouldn't mess with this the day of earnings release, particularly with all the volatility around Facebook. I would anticipate this, right? Greed will overwhelm social conscience, right? People continue to advertise here. So you might look here. Now, would that make sense? That's a mighty deep one. So we were just talking about that, right? So that's really, if you're a bull, that's really not what you want. You don't want the 4 to go that deep. All right. So if that's completed, you're pulling from here. Well, I guess it wouldn't be that bad relative to that 2. So anywhere in here. So I would do it this way. I don't love the B because it's so shallow, but here, you're kind of splitting the distance, kind of using some of that. There's your first target would be the 100. So look where you are. You're in between the 23 and the 38. The prior 3-4, which is a common retracement zone here down a degree. So if we come into this here and we get this little push off here, so maybe there's a little negative news because the numbers are down because of all the shit they're going through right now. So you might get a little pop down here. Then again, you don't need to pick the turn. Wait, see how it looks tomorrow or what happens in the overnight. My guess is you'll get this opportunity. If it's going to rally out of here, you'll get that first retrace opportunity. Like this one, just like this one. Just looking at prior reactions off of earnings. I'd be right if you. It's funny. You guys probably seen Roger McNamara, who wrote the book Zucked. Right, has been a leading advocate of all the wrongs that Facebook is doing, yet continues to be an investor. So that's why I say greed, mighty strong. Anywhere in here would be of interest, right? And you got a nice target here on the upper side. That's what I see there. It looks like an interesting setup here. I sure would be watching this tomorrow to see how the reaction is. Okay, let's see if I've got Amazon here as well over in Motive Wave. I could do Amazon. I know this. I always think of Arixis when I see Amazon because I know he's been.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
So Hactoff asked a question. He said,
"Oh yeah,
having seen Sam's review of AMD, I have a log question. If wave 1 is longer than wave 3 in log, and thus wave 5 cannot be longer than wave 3.
No. So that calculation, longer, shorter, if it's longer in arithmetic, it's longer in arithmetic. Longer is longer.
Okay, so it doesn't matter.
No, it does not matter. No, longer is longer. But that's a good question, right? It's absolutely very good question.
Yeah, he said, okay, I thought I should use the log toggle on the fib. And I said, yes, you should. He goes, in which case, Sam will need to review that validation point again using log fib.
He was talking about the extension on it.
I suppose so. Yeah, the wave 3.
Yeah, right. So I would mark both of them off myself. Right. That's annoying that you got to go back and forth between the two. But when you have that kind of massive range, but longer is longer, right? So if it's longer, you can't say, oh, well, it's not longer in log, so I wouldn't count it as the longest. But that's probably what I did. I probably kept it. Where's his AMD? I think I left it in log when I'm pretty sure that's what I did. Shit, I can't. Yeah, I'd have to copy that. I think that's what I did. Come on. Right. So we were talking about the invalidation point of that 3 not being longer than the 1, and I may have not made the point of mentioning that if it's longer in arithmetic. So good catch. Hacked off. Was it hacked off? Yeah, good catch, hacked off. Right, that I didn't make that distinction. All right, longer is longer. Okay. All right. So let me bring this one back here. Rix's was going to town with it. He was just a member I'm talking about. Has been just killing it with this. Now we've kind of gone into kind of the sideways zone here. So just again, same kind of thing. This is a daily with Amazon. You got to do it really. Again, you got to do it in semi-log here. So I went to I think the weekly. Okay, so 1, 2. There's my 2. Did that 2, right? So here it's just wicking off the 1, 2, right? So we frame. Here's our accumulation zone, and here's the break, and then the retest, and that's where we've come from that. So coming out of this 1, 2, we're still seeking that 3 at that degree. Let me get this out of here. So this still seeking that 3. All right. So here, let me change this internal color. Let's put that in green. All right, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm in semi-log here. That's how Motive Wave does it. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? So let's come down to the daily. Okay, so if this is the 4, it looks like I start right here. I can get if I go look in here, I've got a leading diagonal, right? So if I can see the overlap. So it looks like 1, 2, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. So I get a leading diagonal. I suppose I can put the channel on that, although it's not going to look great, right? So I don't make it, right? So in a perfect leading diagonal, you would make the trend line here, but you don't make it, right? So we come down here from the 4, I would stick with that count because I don't think there's an impulse in there. So you're kind of stuck with it. 1, 2, put in the 2 just in between the 50 and the 618, right where you're looking for it. Now I get a nice 1. Now, so coming off of that, where's your 2? Right there's, I mean, this is all you got to work with, right? Even if I go down to, let's try a 10-hour 1, that's all you got. That's the only retracement you got because you need this as part of the 1. So you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to give you that 1, and then the incredibly shallow 2. And then once again, right? So this is again, just to give you this example. So can I find the impulse in there? Right? Okay. Now let me change that color just so you can see it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I've got a qualified third here. Now I'm going sideways for the 4. So I get very sharp, very short, and then I get long and sideways. So that's not, of course, not ideal guidelines of alternation because the time imbalance is, gets your attention. But what else am I going to do? Call this the 2? Right? It wouldn't be any better. All right, so because I need to complete a 5 here, I go with that as it looks like that's to be the 3, 4 of the 5th of the 1. So you're kind of stuck with that. So I've got this range here that we're in now, and so we've lost some of that momentum, some of that just balls to the wall straight. Now we're going sideways here. God damn it! Here, come here. There we go. All right, so I'm looking for that 4. So I might do it this way, same kind of thing, just. Oh, I can do 4 to the 3. Where am I looking for it? Right here in the pocket, prior 3, 4, right? Come down here to anywhere in this zone here where you have now this basing structure. So it's one of 2 things, right? We add a little Wyckoff, right? So we go rip higher. Now are we distributing? My guess is it's reaccumulation, right? So the Elliott count would support that idea. Oh, I should put this into like the Elliott count would support the idea that we're going to keep going because we haven't completed this impulse. So thus, while there may be some distribution down here, my guess is you're going to see a spring down here, something to test this, and then we carry on with the count. 3, 4 up for the 5, right? The 5's got lots of upside. I don't know I don't know how you bet against Amazon. 3, 4, it looks like we're just going to wait for this 4. And when that sets up, it's the same kind of thing. Wait for the initial 1, 2, and off you go. The only thing that makes you hesitant here is the size of that 2 relative to that 4, right? That's the huge imbalance here that makes you just pause for a second. So, I mean, there's so many things to trade. If you don't like it, it's like that imbalance has me concerned, right? I just don't like it. I mean, it would have been better if the 4 was here. Right. So then you might say, oh, that 2, okay, even still, right? It would have been better here. And if you'd gone and done it here, right? Then you could kind of, there's a little ABC. Okay, I can make that work. But this is such imbalance. So it makes you hesitant. Just a hair. If it comes down here into this structure here, with this range, I'd be interested on the buy side, but I'd do it with options. Okay, I got Amazon. I got Apple. What else were we going to look at? I think we were going to look at gold. Gold is a bitch. We've looked at this many times over the last couple of years. I mean, so we're going back here to 2015, right? I started recording in 2017. So we've looked at this a dozen times. This is a really difficult count to get your head around because it can be interpreted a couple of different ways. Well, clearly we get the 1 here. Now, is this A, B, C or W, X, Y, or is it 1? Is this the 2? Because you can see the 3 here. Now, is this 1, 2? Right? It works because this sell-off here has to be accounted for in some context. So I can get from this, I can get my impulse and get that. Although it looks like you have to go A, expand the B, because that's just such a straight free fall. Either way, it looks like you can do it that way. So the problem is that 1. That is just a hideous one. Which is why I've always thought the 2 was over here. I mean, this is almost impossible to get that into either a diag or an impulse, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to go A, B. You just can't do it. So this more like, so it looks more likely that this, if you just pick it apart. Okay, so this is a 3, and it's believe that's a 50, right? So here's 50 target, right? So this little ABC has always guided my thinking here. And then if I do this, right, we break the golden zone here. So I know I lose an algo here. So it makes me think if I just work through that count, if I work backwards, this is, right? So this looks like, oh shit, can you even get that? I don't think you can. So if you were thinking this was the 1 or an A, right, we don't go long enough, right? So let's see, let's take it out of log. I don't think it'll matter. You're not long enough. So that's why I struggle with this section here. There is no clarity on this. So it makes me think it's A, B, C, W, X. Fuck it, it's anybody's guess, right? This is a classic example here. You'll have 12 eliticians give you 12 different counts. I think the safer bet is to do it here. W, X, oh fuck, A, B, C. It's not good either way. So you're kind of stuck going, well, I'm not sure, right? And if you're not sure, why do you want to be trading? So if it's 1, 2 here, right, then you look here and say, okay, well, if that's going to be my 3 here, and I'm going to go A, B, C, well, okay, what did I complete there? If it's 1, 2, 3, right? Doesn't look like that would be a good 3. It's long enough. Just shy of the 1618. As a matter of fact, oh, Jesus, I think that gets it to the tick. Yeah. All right. So it makes you want to put the 5 there. That's within a tick. But right, that's just a free fall. So thus I'm thinking that's A, B, and then the free fall is the C. So you can get 3 into that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is that? Is that 1 or 3? Right. Well, if you think it's 3, it would work, right? If this is 1 and that's 2, we're not overlapping. Oh, come here. So that would be 3. Right, process of elimination. Now, do I have a good finish there? Definitely not. What? Jesus Christ. That's a brutal one. I don't know anyone who's got a count that I love here, and I've looked at several educators that I respect. Right, so A, B, C. Oh, God, I guess you might be able to get that. That's a 3 though. Right, A, B, C, right? So you can't call that the 1. So you're more likely going to be stuck with this truncation because with this, we can't start with that, but I can finish with that. So if that's the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, let's try it. Let's see if we can do it on the fly here. All right. 3, 4, 5 is what I want to do there. So it has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, what did I get there? This would have to be, oh, that looks like an A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's an A, B, C is what I'm thinking just right off the top of my head. Let's move this to blue. Let's go to micro. That's tougher. So we get a sideways, which I don't particularly like, but I don't see another way to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we complete an impulse here. A, B, oh fuck. We might have. I guess you could get it. Oh, that's an ugly diagonal, but I guess you could get that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would be A, oh, pardon me. This would have to be A, B, C here. So this would be 1, 2, 3, overlap, finish with the A, B, C. It's ugly, but I think that's all you got. So I think you're stuck here, 2, 3, 4, 5, not the diag that you want to get there, right? You'd rather have it contracting, but you got to take what the market gives you. So where do we go after that? This is the sausage making. Okay, 1. Let's label it 1. Right now I'm calling it 2, and I don't have a better candidate. Now, do I have to go 3, 4, 5 here? Because it looks like something is done here. Let's go here. We'll go to green. Okay. Oh, I want you in a bigger degree. 1, 2. I hate that. All right, but we've already overlapped, so I need to finish here if this count's going to hold. 1, 2. Ooh, I don't love that. Oh, you're kind of stuck with that. All right, it's a 5. A, B, C. Well, although if it's a flat, you want this to be a 3, and that sure looks like a 5. So I think you're kind of stuck with this as the 2 here on the 1. One, 2. Boy, I hate that. I don't see a better way to count that. Let's go back to the daily here. I don't know. Could we be done here? All right, let's see if we can put that all back together. 1, 2. So right off the bat, you can look at this and say, oh, if it's 1, 2, and I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then all I've done is complete the larger 3 here, because this looks 4-ish. But if I come back to this is almost impossible to get into a clean 5. It just doesn't play. A, B, C is all you get. So even if you went 1, 2, 3, 4, oh God, could you get a diag in there? Let's just think about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could that work? It might. All right, that's shit. I lost every viewer we've got here. All right, there's 1, 2. Okay, so extension the 1 is okay, but has 3 to 5. Could work. A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. It's a push there. A, B, C. You're kind of all right. Let's consider that as an alternate here. So let's put that whole thing back together. Okay, this may end up being a cleaner count if I can make that work. It's just out of curiosity. Did I get a 50? I did. Okay, so I'm always looking in a diag. I want to see a 50 at the 4 from the start of the 1 through the 3 on the 4. If I get that, I would like to see him get the algo target, but we eventually it gets it. Okay, so let's consider this as an alternate here. This is a very tricky count. Let's see. At the bat, you've got that overlap there. So purists are going to hate this. So we don't quite get the conditions here that you need, right? So you would, if it's a diag here, you would want 5 to be longer than 3. So we don't get that here. So I can hear Allied Master Computer already commenting about it. I get you, man. It's not clean, right? So you're either forcing it in here, or you're just living with what the market gives you, right? Sometimes it's just not going to give you what you want. It's just not going to play clean Elliott ball. As an alternate. I can't say I love. Let's take that micro. So here, this is this same problem, right? So can I make that? I don't see another way to count it. A, B, C, A, B, C. Can't work, right? So either you have it's not that I would call it invalid. You'd be on a purist would. All right. So either it's going to be WXY, which that's not ideal either. or it's going to go 1, 2, and then this is going to be the 3. So let's just consider the possibility here for any gold bulls that this would all be up here, still yet to come. This would go here. This would go to 3. And then this would be, take that down a degree. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this all becoming the 4 is all relative to this lower 2. At the 38 for the 4, and this is good luck, right? What are you calling that? WXYXZ into a double bottom? Well, we certainly have clear support. Right, if that's going to hold here, this count is a contender, right? So you've got this issue here. So if it breaks down, you're back here going, well, I guess the fact that it didn't play as a diagonal should. I'm trying to find another way to count that. I can't do it here. I need the A, B, C. I can't get another way to get it. I don't see it. You wanted that to go there. So let's just play it through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this 4 would be over here. And this 4 is here. I should probably change that. Let's go subminuet. I'll put it in yellow. Okay, so 3, 4. Got the major 5. Just out of curiosity here, let's see what that would look like. If that's the 2. Well, we're past the 2, 6, 1, 8. That's a pretty good rip for the 3rd. Not much, but right. So 1, 2, big rip for the 3. You know, I don't even know that you WXY, A, B, C, right? So if that's the low, all right, let's consider that. So that's a candidate because the clear 3 that finishes, right? So again, just working backwards, it can't finish with a 3 unless it's part of something, a bigger corrective structure. So just working backwards, and that looks like a clear 5. So you can see the A, the B, and then we'd have to go A, B. Ooh, that's on the edge. C there. So I get a 4. Pardon me. So I get an A, B, C to finish it. So that would be oh shit, what do we do? W, X, Y, X, Z. We'd have the finish here. So this, now that looks like it might be a little too far for a golden. Yeah, it's a little break there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right off the bat, you don't have the corrective structure you're looking for because that's a pretty clear 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't ignore that. All right, it's a diagonal, right? Because we have the overlap here. So that's a bit of a problem, right? Because we can't go 1, 2. Let's go 4 here and see if I can find an alternate in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, there's an impulse. There's an impulse right here. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. There's an impulse right here. No, you can't squeeze it. Shit. So what do you have here? You have a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 diagonal, right? Because you're finishing with it. So do you see there's a little ending diagonal. Now here you do get a good diagonal. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I get a diagonal. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I get a nice ending diagonal to finish this. You probably go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, let's pull back here. That's a problem. 1, 2. Well, I suppose you can get an ABC in this. A, B, C. You have to do it that way, and you're finishing with a 5. So either this is a wicked truncation, which you go to as a last resort, right? That's usually the weak elitician can't figure anything out. So it's a very last, if you've considered every alternative, right? Truncation is your last choice. So already I'm thinking, well, could this be just a bigger corrective structure? We're working through the B and we've got another leg down here. So maybe I'm off by 1 degree here that I can't go. Let's see. Jesus, that is brutal. I actually hate trading gold. If you're a day trader, it's absolutely sucks. A, B, W, X. It's got to go W, X, Y. X. A, B, can't do it. Well, that's a bitch, right? Sometimes you just come up and you go, I don't have a count that I can figure out that I like, that I can live with. I can see what happened here. Right to it. Right, I know obviously algos are in here. Allied. Oh, I love this guy. He's a really talented guy. Comments a lot for him. Well, I got to get over here. What are you thinking, Allied? Gold, I have a WXY for the X. Oh, I wish you could post a chart. You got. So what are you thinking here? You got a WXY in here, but this is, oh God, is that? Well, let's just check it. The overlap? No. Oof. Well, that's cutting it pretty close. You're going 1, 2. I see what you're thinking. All right. So you could, I guess you'd have to finish it here. That is within a tick. So you're going WX. Let's see. I don't think I can get it. I think I've got to go a 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I do it that way? Let's take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I get that to work? I really can't. Is that what you got, Allied? I think that might be right. A, B, C. That could do it. That could do it. Okay. Unstuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's the A. Oh, fuck. I want an A here. I want a W, X, Y. Well, if that's A and that's, I can't finish it. Fuck. Can't go 3, 4, 5. Oh, I guess maybe I can. Let's just check that. So this would be, okay, that could work. I think, right? So this could go W, X, Y, X, Z. So this has to be 1. Allied, the problem is over here, I can't get a clean launch, right? So if I finish this, whether it's 2 or 4 here or the Z, I can't, what do I do with that 5, right? I can't get around that 5. There's no way you can squeeze that into a 3. 1, 2, 3. There's an impulse. There's an impulse. There's an impulse. I got 3 impulses. So I gotta account for that. So if it's 1, 2, I could maybe go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can see that, right? So if we're, how else can we go W? Can I go W, X, Y? A, B, C, W. Maybe I can do it that way. Maybe I can. Okay, so we'd go W, X, Y as a 1, 2. I'm guessing that's what you're thinking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives me a 1. All right, so I think that works. So let's pull back out here and see if we can. So this is questionable. Let's make sure that 3 isn't the shortest. I think it might be, actually. Yeah, I'm going to guess it. Maybe not. Let's just check. 1. Nope. It can't work. All right, 3 would be the shortest. Damn it. So it has to, fuck. So this has to be the X. This has to be the 4. I can't, that's not going to be long enough. It has to be there. A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. I don't see another count there, Allied. I wish you could post a chart. All I have is WX with the X. 1, 2 for your preferred. I don't see it. Oh, I think, he's talking about out at the, out here. He's talking about this one. So, okay. So he had the preferred as a WXY as the 2 over here, right? So we were just looking at the alternate here. Could we get that to fix? But I think either one here, you're not going to get hurt here based on what that is. The problem is deciphering the correction is really brutal. It wouldn't matter here in terms of where you're looking for that low. If the 2 is over here, this is the bitch. I don't have a clean solution, right? So if I can't, gold isn't something that I love to trade enough to where I would really keep digging here, but I don't see one. I don't see another way to get that. I can't get an impulse in here. A, B, C, X. I can get a W, X. Oh, maybe I can do, hang on a second. Maybe this can be A, B, C. No, can't do it, right? So I can't finish with a 5. So this, if I work backwards from that 3, it's either 1, 2. It's either 1, 2, 1, 2. Could that work? That might work. It could. And you could do it. Okay, so let's think about that. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that could work. So the 3 is corrective. So that, God damn, that's within a tick. But technically, I guess that can work. Well, I hate to put it that close, but I think that's what you've got here. So this has to be the X over here. This has to be the Y. This 5, we'll just do it this way. So this has to be the Y. This has to be the W. This has to be the X. So this becomes 1, 2. Oh, this is a brutal one. 1, 2 within a tick. Ooh, I hate doing that, but I think that's the best I can come up with here as it sits right now. So this becomes the 4. Pardon me. This becomes the 4, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 1, A, B, C into the deepest 2 with this, and we go 1, 2. Right? So I think you could trade off of that. This is deep here, but we're trying to get started on something that's not a great start to it. But let's take a look there. 1, 2 already have overlap, so it's either A, B, C, and we're working on a diagonal. There's not enough to where you could really say, oh, okay, I'm ready to trade here. Well, that's a brutal one. No, but I think that is the better fit, right? So, okay, so then we go, this is just unknowable right now. Whatever we're doing here, this has got to be 1, 2. This, you'd be inclined to think 3 here. So you're thinking diagonal, but I don't even think that's far enough. So that is, can I make that? A, B. No, I think you do it that way. Oh, it's barely long enough. Yep. So you go 1, 2, A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the C. So it is long enough. So maybe we're getting started with a diag here. I want to see that be a 50. If I can get that, would help me lean into it. All right, so we got a 50, right? So that's always a qualifier I look for. So can I get a 50 here right at all this slop here? Like, good luck with that. Looks like that's a 3. So you'd go A, B, C. You're kind of stuck with the slop there. But so right now that looks like you're starting into a diag. So if I was forced to trade this, which I wouldn't, right? Why trade something like this hard to figure out? Way too many good things to trade, whereas you don't have this problem. But if I were stuck trading gold and it was all I could do, I'd be watching for that. Something like that to hold up here. Now you don't have it, right? So again, in that ideal leading, you want that 5 to come up here. It needs to be longer than 3, but ideally you hit the geometry as well. So that's the trade that you can take comfortably. Otherwise, why take something iffy? I always say. This is already a little, so A, B, C, I guess we can make that work. A, B, you're kind of force fitting here, A, B, C into the Y. It's you're a little bit of doing an Elliott shuffle here, which is, again, why trade something that could be this, could be that. That's, their 12 Elliotticians give you 12 counts there. That is a really tricky one, particularly with that one tick off. All right, I spent enough time there. I should keep moving. That very tough one. Are we good? Yeah. How we doing on time? Oh, that's good. We got 2 hours. Okay, we're good. All right. So struggle today, right? They're not, well, that's welcome to the world of trading and TA, right? It's not always going to be a slam dunk in your face. So obvious you can spot it. I knew gold I went to last because I knew what a bitch that was because I hadn't been able to get it nailed down previously. Okay. It's just a reminder, guys. You can take advantage, right, of the promo here that gets you access to all of our content. That's all tied to the educational membership, right? So not to discourage you from the social membership. The only difference between the two is that with the educational system, you're getting access to the upper belts, right? So whether you're social or a free member, you're getting access to the white belt. If you want to go blue and above, then you're an educational member. So that's the little upgrade. So that's why if we do discounting, we do it off of the educational membership. So keep that in mind. A lot of people do take advantage of these and they wait for them. So that should give you something to think about. And like we said, we'll run that through the 3rd of November. And it'll be on our Twitter feed and we'll promo it throughout the course of the week because we'd love to have you join us. And I don't know, Allied, you should come in here, man, so I can share some charts with you. I'd be curious to see how you had that counted, but I always see he's a good Elliottian. He always offers me good comments on the Bitcoin Friday video. So I've gotten to where I recognize his name because I know he's skilled. Okay, guys. With that, I'll wish you guys a good afternoon, and we'll be back. Oh, don't forget tomorrow. Now you got Monty Crypto with his approach to the market. I would strongly recommend that you take a look at that for something that you may not have seen before. Members all know, but for those of you on YouTube, I think you'll like what you see there. So it's a different approach. It's grounded in the same concepts, but with less detail Elliott work and a lot more on long-term support and resistance, and then his own creative application of geometry, which will get your attention. Okay, with that, I'll wish you guys good afternoon, and we'll catch you. I'll be back on Friday for Bitcoin Friday. Okay, guys, take it easy.
So yeah.